Okay, I know my other video got cut off. So anyway, there's some living heirs here in America to those kingdoms and also to America. So I built a House of Bourbon family tree. I just want to show you. This is confusing because Alexander de Bourbon is also called Elizabeth de Bourbon the Fourth. Alexander and Elizabeth are used interchangeably. So I don't know if this is how they hide records or what. And I'm not saying this is true. This is just what I built using one of these sites. So the issue here is King Felipe. It's showing that Elizabeth's son is either King Felipe or King Carlos, which is also the name of King Charles. Like if you look at the different languages, they're using them in a way where King Carlos is actually King Charles. It's the same, it's just the different languages pronounce the name differently. Alexander, I don't know what it's pronounced in all the languages, but Elizabeth, for example, is Isabella or Isabella in Spain. So this is the House of Bourbon line, and I just want to show you we got Queen Sophia. I do not think that what they're showing in the media, this man, King Felipe, has to marry another royal. It doesn't make sense that what they're saying. They're saying that he married a somebody that wasn't a royal lineage. So but again, when I did this, it just shows Queen Sophia. Sophia, again, having biblical reference, is the mother of King Felipe, also referred to in the record, born 67, also referred to in the record as Alexander de Bourbon or Elizabeth de Bourbon. And the records that I found show that Alex de Bourbon, they were saying he was Russian. Now, I don't know if that's true. This is the Bourbon family line, but I don't know how it goes to Russia. But in these records on these sites, it's showing Russian. So I don't know if this is Alexander, also known as Elizabeth, born male, mother of King or father of King Charles, King Carlos, right? King Charles, King Carlos. And then we have Elizabeth over at Buckingham Palace. That Elizabeth is the mother of King Charles, also known as King Carlos in Spain. So I'm not saying that they're the same line. I'm just saying that there's something kind of unusual about this. Okay, so we have Queen Sophia, King Paul, Queen Sophia, Queen Frederica, Princess Victoria, Ernest Frederica, Queen Sophia of Prussia, King Constantine. And these kind of petered out over here. It doesn't mean there's nothing there. I've been building a lot of trees lately. Okay, and then we've got this de Bourbon e Bourbon. Bourbon, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, e Battenberg. Right here. So then it goes to Mount Battenberg. Mount Batten. I think Battenberg is Mount Batten, which is the family lineage of the Buckingham Palace. So then we got de Bourbon dos Sicilia, Francisco Franco, Frederica Louise. I'll just go a little bit further because if you click on these, this, and then go here, it's going to show, I guess it's the Queen, and they show different versions of this. And in my findings, they're showing different races for the same. I'm not saying, alleged queen. I think this is the queen. So de Bourbon y Orleans. Isn't Orleans New Orleans? Mercedes de Bourbon to Siciles. All right, so isn't two Sicilies going to Italy? The House of Bourbon is one of those, if you look into like the Bavarian line, again, that line hasn't been claimed in decades. Why? Why wouldn't the original heirs, if they knew they were of this lineage, claim the crown? They would. They would. So we got Alfonso the 8, 9, 10, 11, Alfonso the 11th, Battenberg, Queen of Battenberg, de Bourbon de Sicily, de Bourbon of Orleans, which again I think is America. F. Diocese de Bourbon, Alphonse de Bourbon. And I did find something very weird. I'm just going to show you this really quick. Hapsburg, you go to down here, you get the Hapsburg line starts coming in. Hapsburg Lorraine. They're saying a name was Hapsburg Lorraine, but it's actually the Hapsburg Lorraine house, right? So that's how this particular site works. And then Bourbon, Duke of, let's see, Duke of Cadiz, province of Madrid. So what I found interesting when I was doing this research is that Camilla, there is a Camilla de Fayette in the House of Saud. So is Charles really married to Camilla of the House of Saud because they want to keep the money in the family? You know what I mean? They want to keep these things secret so they can control the money. So again, we got Isabella de Bourbon, which is the Italy line, which goes to Madrid. So we got the Habsburg line, which is in Hungary and Austria. We've got Czech Republic, Real Madrid, all in the same house. So where is Elizabeth de Bourbon? And is that the second Elizabeth that we found? And is she in America? I think so. Because when you look up that name, Elizabeth de Bourbon, it shows she's living in a castle. And the castle is at a place called Dauphine. Dauphine. And that castle's been closed down for decades. So what they did years ago is they closed down all the castles, rented them out, and used America basically, I think, as the holding center. I don't know if it's a forced disappearance program, but it's something. Using the Rittenberg kind of plan, where Rittenhouse plan, where Americans would be able to kind of investigate them because they had this historical lineage. But they didn't, I don't think they were told that these were, they had royalty, but they're keeping them here in America. So they're actually now holders of land in America. So it's going to Italy, which goes to that Orsini line. So we got, going over here, we got Charles IV of Spain. So sometimes they think they put 4 after your name to show you're the lineage of something. Let's look at this one. Versailles, Department of France, Madrid. So Versailles, so born in the Department of Yvelines. So this one is born in a department. It's interesting. Le Grand Dauphin of France, de Bourbon, or Bourbon. It's spelled differently. B-O-R-B-O-N, B-O-U-R, B-O-N. So, Prince and Dauphin of France. Okay, so when you look into the Louisiana Purchase, the Dauphin of France is listed directly there as living in America. So what are they doing? Who are these people, and why is it going to Italy all in this line? And we're not hearing about this line in the media, but these people are still living. King of Navarre and France. These people don't have last names. Louise Elizabeth Borbon, France, Frederic, right? Okay. Also born in the Department des, I mean, I don't know what that is. Department des, I mean, it's almost like their government, they're being born in some kind of government capacity. Italy. And this goes back to all of the things I found. Royal Alcazar. Italy. So we got Spain and Italy here. So they're telling us something. Rome. So they're telling us something in this tree. Von Spain. So we got, she's in Spain and then dies in Italy. They all are, I'm telling you, this house has not been claimed because I believe the real hereditary heirs are in America. The other thing I did notice is that Prince William is a place in America. So sometimes I've found when researching my own history that they'll use names as your own last name. Because until you claim your name, let's see what we got here. Italy and Lombarda. So I've built out this tree, but what's weird is that sometimes, so this is of Orleans. So where is Orleans? I thought Orleans is here. But in the Louisiana Purchase, France was a part of, it was like France territory was part of America. So I'm thinking these kings and queens are also kings and queens of basically of America. And Alaska used to be owned and controlled by Russia in old maps. So what I think they're doing is they're basically hiding who the real landholders are. So Alexander de Bourbon, also known as Elizabeth de Bourbon, born male, lives at a castle in Dauphin, apparently, that's been closed down for many years and is only used for tours to make money. The mother and father, apparently, I don't know how they do that, is the King Carlos of Bourbon, which is also known as King Charles. It's just language. They're using tricky language in this one. So, what is de Orleans? What is de Orleans? So, it's a city in north central France, but on old maps, that city became New Orleans. I think when they're referring to de Orleans, they're also, it's also in Quebec. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Orleans Hotel and Casino. But all you have to do is go to the Louisiana Purchase, and that Moorish woman, I can't remember her name, Empress de Ouachita, and look and read it. And read that these people are here. It's almost like stolen Louisiana Purchase land, Ouachita Nation and Moorish sovereign citizens. And they're claiming the land because the other tribes are lost, the lost 12 tribes.